Greetings. Greetings, greetings. This is Righteous Livity TV. And as you know, we try to, hold a little meditation on a weekly, we hold meditation every day, but we hold, a weekly meditation to see, how we're growing, analyze experiences, encounters, and just check out what's going down, what's going up, what's not going, what needs to go, and what is good, what needs to stay. And a bit cold. I'm gonna put my cardigan on. I'm in a granny mode right now. I'm knitting, got my hat on, my top. I'm putting on my cardigan because I'm cold, all right? So, yeah. The meditation this week has been, this week's been a fast week. The weeks are getting faster. And, real granny mode. Cardigan and ting. Yeah, the weeks are getting faster in that, I'm sure I said it last week that, my schedule is kind of picking up. And, we're doing different things, and, not that I'm taking my eye off you, I'm just doing my knitting as well. We're doing different things, and in doing different things, what it does is it challenges you. It challenges you to see what you really know about yourself. What you really know about you. I know I just said that. Yeah, but when I say, I'm saying it like, if you don't challenge yourself to do different things that you may not even know that you're good at, you may not even know if you can even do it. But if you don't challenge yourself to do that or to step into arenas of unfamiliarity, then you're never really going to know yourself. You're never really going to know what you can actually do. You see, because if you're only ever doing what you want to do and what you like to do, then that's not really knowing yourself. Sometimes you have to do things that you don't really want to do. And not anything that goes against your spirit or your balance or your harmony, but sometimes you just got to do certain things that just have to be done in order for things to be achieved. And you might not necessarily want to do it, and you might not necessarily not want to do it, but if it was a choice, then one wouldn't choose. These things, they toughen one's skin. They make you know who you are. They make you understand your own principles, your own values, your own beliefs, if you will. I say that a lot, right? Don't I? And as I said, this week has been a fast week, and it ended, or well, it hasn't. There is no end, but the week came to a close. I think it's probably more appropriate. With a really adventurous experience. And I have to call it adventurous because it's something that no matter how you try to prepare for it, it's never going to be what you thought it was until you do it and you realize that actually it was nothing what I thought about, and actually it wasn't even that hard. It wasn't even that, well, it was challenging, but it just wasn't hard, And I'm just loving life. I am. I'm just kind of loving life right now. I'm really grateful for a lot. Grateful for a lot. Grateful for finally meeting and consistently meeting positive individuals. It's like I don't know, sometimes I try to, because English is such a restrictive language, it's very hard to try to explain what you're saying in the full accuracy of what you're trying to kind of get across. And I feel that because, you know, when you're younger, unless you are born in affluence, yeah, you don't really know how to think. And I mean, the school I went to, I was fortunate enough to be around a lot of rich kids, you know, and not even just rich kids, like wealthy children. Like they came from like lines of, you know, were heirs and, you know, George VIII and things like that. Do you know what I mean? It was serious stuff. And I was blessed enough to go to school with some of these people. And what I was exposed to when we used to go to their house and things like that, used to do projects together and stuff, is that their way of thinking was very different than how we thought. You know, remember, they didn't have issues like they can't kick down their school shoe, because if they kick down the school shoe, they're going to get beaten. Okay, your mum spent her last money, or your dad might spend his last change to get you the school boot. So if you're going to mash up the school boot now, it's a beating. Their world wasn't like that, because the school footwear or attire was unlimited. So energy went into other thoughts like, you can succeed whatever you want, Wilbert. And Harriet, you are a star. You know, believe that. So with those kind of thoughts was how they thought. So that's why anything they did, they were great. You know, they were always A-star students. Sometimes as we got older, the grades went down because there were other issues that would come to the surface, because it's not always money. And sometimes some of these children had more money, and no disrespect to them, than sense, and that was because of, obviously, you know, where they were coming from. You know, sometimes maybe some of the parents then were so affluent that to take time with their children was, you know, absolutely absurd. You know, he's got everything he wants. What more could he possibly want? You know, time. Heaven's sake, how ungrateful. It was that kind of, you know, attitude that some of my school friends were, you know, that was their environment. But when it came to PlayStation and school trips and traveling, those things wasn't a problem. Things that we, coming from a more restricted life and coming from a more, you know, watch your pennies kind of life, we didn't have access to that kind of thing. So the sort of thought pattern was different. So the point, what I'm trying to say is that when you have, how can I put it? When you're thinking less about how you're going to obtain it, you can think about how you feel when you obtain it and put energy into that, you see. And that's what happens when you're able to be more financial affluent. You're able to put you're able to put energy into thoughts that can continue to help you manifest that lifestyle. And that's why the mind is very serious, and your environment is key, but you also have that flower that grows out of the stone. You know, anything is possible. Most of the greats have come from environments that were literally, it was them against the whole resistance, and they've made it, you know. And what does made it mean? Made it means they are comfortable in their own skin, whether how they're living, how they're earning, how they're co-producing, whether they've met their soulmate, or, you know, they're living their dream, and their livelihood is that how they make a living is what they always wish to make a living. You know, for me, that's making it. I don't know what anybody else thinks making it is, you know. So I just want you to kind of just highlight the thought pattern and how thought pattern can change, you know. And this week, my observations with thought is pretty serious, and it's just getting more kind of, I wouldn't say intense, but I'm kind of focusing more on how I think. I try not to spare any time to think about anything else other than how I think, because everything comes back to that, you know? And everything I'm living now, well, not everything, but the majority of what I'm living now, I would say 90% of what I'm living now is what I've always seen. I've always seen it inside myself. I just didn't know how I was going to get there. And in doing different things, comes back to what I'm saying in the beginning. In doing different things, you're able to know thyself. You cannot know thyself if you're doing the same thing every day. See? That's not wisdom. You cannot know thyself if you do not expand yourself to do the things that you don't even know that you can do. I mean, I'm making a bag here, so as we talk, I'll show you the progress. You know thyself means to do something that you wouldn't normally do, and see how well you deal with that. Because when you are, when certain things are, you are confronted with certain, shall we say, scenarios or situations of uncomfortability, it's a thing where, how do you deal with that? That's how you know yourself. You know, when matters of awkwardness and oh God, what are the words? Of awkwardness and things that are not within your pleasure arise, and you are not, I wouldn't say expected to, but maybe out of work or out of a project being completed upon which you are part of, this act needs to be conducted. And I'm not talking about anything illegal or anything untoward or anything nasty. I'm just talking about maybe, like, for example, you might be working in sales. Yeah, you're in the sales department, and you're really, really good at what you do, and these opportunities come up, and this film crews come in, and you've got to do like a 2-minute commercial for them, and they've recommended you in the department. Now you're probably thinking, oh my God, I don't want to go be on television, I haven't got any skills, I'm not an actor. But you don't know unless you try. You don't know unless you put yourself to the test. People say, oh no, I can't swim. And oh no, what do you mean you can't swim? Have you tried to swim? And then it's like, what happens is because we're human beings, we attach ourselves to everything. So what we do, we attach ourselves to a traumatic scenario. Oh, my cousin drowned, so I've got a phobia. Oh, whatever. What do you mean your cousin drowned, you got a phobia? Elvery, get in that water and see what's going on. And you don't have to, go into the water and try to swim in the deep end. You can actually just go into the water and just try to become one with the water and take it one step at a time. Yeah, I don't really like to use all these little cliches. I've got to learn more African proverbs, because this realm wasn't built in a day stuff. I mean, it doesn't come from my people. I want to use things that come from my people. But you know what I'm trying to say? Everything's a process. And I'm urging my people to know thyself. Know thyself means, all right, the color of the rainbow. What is the color of the rainbow? There is no color. There are colors of the rainbow, meaning that, remember, when you look into real science of the colors, all the colors are each other. Two colors can make one of the colors, and then another 2 colors make another 2. Then if you mix them all together, it comes back to another color. So really and truly, all the colors of the rainbow is just one color. So all colors are one, and one color are all, if that makes sense. That's what I'm saying. So if you're just sitting down at a computer every day, hello, good morning, every day, you can't be talking about yourself and you're wise because you're 70 or because you're 55 or because you look old. Wisdom is when you can see each and every sector in life and area in life and have something to contribute to that. You know, whether it's a personal experience or whether it's an observational experience where you've observed somebody else's lesson and been able to get it. You know, not all the time we're blessed that way. Sometimes we have to live it to really understand the lesson, you know, unfortunately. But and it's not always unfortunate. Sometimes it's a good thing. You know, so what I'm basically saying is become that chameleon. You know, adapt to every environment, adapt to every challenge, arise to the occasion, so to speak. Okay, all right, you might be a butcher. Doesn't mean you have to be a butcher every day. You know what I mean? You can be a butcher in the daytime, and you can be a gardener at night. Who knows? You know, this is how we learn about ourselves. This is how we see who we really are and what we really like. And in that, this is how we're able to find the partner that is compatible within that. But if you don't know yourself and you're trying to get to know yourself, while another human being is trying to get to know themselves, and you're both trying to get to know yourself together, but you're not trying to get to know yourself in a coercive way, is more as he's trying to get to know himself over there, I'm trying to get to know myself over here, and then we're trying to get to know each other, but we can't do that because I don't really know who I am and he don't know who he is, then this is where all this confusion takes place. You know, I think people, because obviously knowledge is like, no disrespect, it's a new hype. You know, to be educated is a new hype. Well, there's one time to be educated, you get robbed and dissed for that. You had to act dumb because being dumb was cool. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not even being dumb was cool, but, you know, rebelling against education was cool. Whereas now, you know, education is like the new hype. You know, I'm educated now. You know, I've got a degree. You know, I know so I read books. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, so people use words like know thyself, like you know what you're saying. I mean, even me, when I really check myself and say, but hold on, do I really know myself? How can I possibly know myself if I'm not really pushing myself in every arena to know I and I, truly? So to know yourself is to step into the unknown. To know yourself is to challenge yourself to do different things. You know, I want to do like bungee jumping and like do things that really test me. I'm not scared of heights, but them things there's kind of like, you know, we as black people and indigenous people look at that as a white man thing. You know, white man like to jump off a cliff and white man like to jump out a plane and you know, but I always had a kind of interest in doing these things because for me that's next to flying. And if that's the closest we can get to flying due to our mental lack of advancement, yes, then I'm up for it. I want to jump out of a plane. Do you know what I mean? And I want to do these things. I want to be able to fly a plane one day. Why not? You know, you can't just think small. You've got to think big. And thinking big doesn't mean that you're dreaming. It means that you're able to bring that dream into reality. You know, you can't go around saying, oh, you know, nothing ever works for me and then expect something to work. You know, words are spells. We learn these things when we was in school, you know, and in is it kindergarten? They call it kindergarten and, you know, preschool. You know, but by the time we get to like secondary school and high school, it's all out the window because sex is all they see in your face. Just sex. Everywhere is just sex. So what happens is the mind becomes sexed up. I'm telling you, these are the things that have been happening through the progression of life. This is why man think the way man thinks now. This is why man seek the vices out of themselves to become like cigarettes. I mean, I used to smoke cigarettes. I mean, years ago now, but I used to smoke cigarettes, and I used to smoke cigarettes hard. And when I look back now, it was a filthy, dirty habit. But hey, what are you gonna say? You know, I used to bund of cigarette. Do you know what I mean? And I used to drink alcohol very harshly as well. But living in a society where you're doing the same thing every day, you haven't got the time to do anything else because you've got to do the same thing every day just to live, to do the same thing every day. You need a drink. right? You need a cigarette, right? You've got people smoking cigars. You need this stuff just to keep the balance. And I'm laughing because it's like, sometimes I wonder, how do we remain and retain our sanity in these environments? Do you know what I mean? How do we able to laugh still and to have fun? You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's a rut. It's worse. Is it worse? No, it's death. I can't put it any other way, because if something's not growing, it's dead, isn't it? So if you're just doing the same thing again and again and again and again, you're just living dead. You're just living dead. And I just give thanks to the Most High, and I give thanks to all the other light bearers, angels, whatever you want to call them. What do you call the violet children, anything you want to call them, children of Jah, the Israelites, you know, the Ethiopians, anything you want to call them. I give thanks for all those people that exist, because all those people that exist have been able to shine some kind of light on the world, to enable I and I to see the pebbles, to say, hey, there's a different way that we can navigate this journey. You know, we don't have to do it the way that it's been taught to do. There is another way, you know. I'm getting somewhere. I'm doing a bag. I'm going to change the color soon, you know. And for a long time, I thought that I had to do it the conventional way. I thought I had to do it the way everybody else does it, you know. And no. And now I'm testing myself. Now I'm doing things that I've only ever dreamt of doing. Literally, like, dreamt of doing certain things. And I'm not going to mention what these things are, because you're going to see them. They're all coming to the surface now, you know. I want to rise up. Yes, everybody that is tuned in, this is Righteous Livity TV, and I'm here on a granny vibe. As you can see, got my cardigan on. Right, I'm doing some knitting. And I'm just talking about my revelation this week. You know, as you know, I try to hold a meditation every week and just check what's going on. You know, just check encounters, check how far we've come, you know, how closer we are, you know, to the final destination, and just how my mindset is, and, you know, what I've manifested to what I don't feel I have manifested as yet, and so on and so forth. And what I've come to the realization of this week is that the thought pattern and your environment has a lot to do with a thought pattern. And to know thyself is, so it's two things I'm talking about here. So your thought pattern, and that your environment influences your thought pattern, meaning that when you're more financially affluent, you can put your energy on thoughts that you probably couldn't put your energy on if you wasn't so financially affluent. And also that the phrase, or the statement rather, of know thyself is something that for me I think is very casually used, and people don't really know what it means to know thyself. And I'm not dissing anybody, I'm just saying that, you know, I'm just trying to break it down further by saying to know thyself is to test oneself. To know thyself is to do things that you don't normally do. To know thyself is when you're confronted with awkwardness and uncomfortable. I can't even say it right. Uncomfortability. Comfortability. If that's even a bloody word, I can't say it. You know, how does one respond? You know, how do you react? This is how you know yourself. Because I have to say, I've got a fire in me, you know, and I can't hide it. And yes, one tries to tame it, you know, because society, you know, requires you to. Yeah. So I've learned to tame my lioness or my dragon or whatever you want to call it. And in my coming to my maturity, I'm learning how to access that fire and learning how to utilize my fire, so to speak. And, you know, it's not always easy to not react, especially when you're passionate about something, and you know, you're passionate about or you're protective of something, whether it's a concept or, you know, natural, something tangible, a person or whatever. And it's interesting how even if you're looking at yourself, you know, from outside of yourself, is how you react to certain things. You know, I sometimes the way I react to certain things, I have to laugh at myself, because there were times when I thought that I wouldn't even have responded like that. I have to say, wow, girl, you know, you're growing. You know, some things I laugh at, and the things that I thought I would laugh at, I don't. And the things that, you know, vice versa, you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, let me make a interjection here. Sometimes the fire have to come out, because that's what the fire is there for, okay? You have certain energies that only respond to the fire. Because you can be very pleasant and very calm and very nice and, you know, loving, and, you know, all the righteousness is there. It's just like they don't get that. Yeah, so, but when you lick out the fire, no, they overstand that. It registers, you see. So you have to know how to do with your fire. I know how to lick out my fire. One time I didn't understand it. The fire was just blazing every day, all day, blazing fire. But you can't live like that. Well, you can, but you know, it's not wise to live that way. Yes. And now one is learning more and more every day, but now one knows when to, you know, tame the fire, and when to lash them with some fire and give them a splash, and then, or give them a real lava splash, or you just ease up and you just give them or you show them the fire, you know. But you must know how to navigate your fire, you know. And in doing that comes success and respect at the end of the day, because there's enough people that to raise up the fire on them. And when you raise up the fire on them, they say, okay, Empress, I see you. I'm saying, yeah, don't play. You understand? And then, you know, certain people, they don't need to see the fire. You don't need to lash the fire on them. They can recognize the fire within you. So everything is everything, but you have a man or a spirit where it would test you to see if the fire they see is real, and I will show you my fire. Don't play. Yeah, I don't mind either, because sometimes you got to get it out. You know what I mean? So yeah, mindset and what you're putting in your mind is imperative, and your environment does have a lot to do with it. Your environment has a lot to do with how your thought pattern is, what you worry about. I remember when I was living in England, I worried a lot. Not to say that I don't worry here, but I don't worry as much. It's a human condition that I've had for so long that it's going to take me some time for that to remove away from my, you know, because my intent is not to worry. So for me, that's a major step, you know. But the worrying thing, that slows down all the manifestations, slows it right down, because all that energy and that focus that you use to fret and to worry can be put into manifesting and creating, and then it comes quicker, you know. So, for example, that's why I'll give you a perfect example. When people are writing books, well, the old tradition was people used to, you know, go over into the countryside, you know, into quiet, you know, ambiances and, you know, wonderful environments to, you know, to write their piece, you know, to be inspired to write the book. And that is because the environment was key, you know. These simple traditions, we must learn to, you know, adapt them again. You know, your environment is key to how you think, whether you want to believe it or not. So, for example, like my brothers and sisters that I live in the city, you know, when I say my brothers and sisters, you know, guys, I don't want people just think, oh, I'm just talking about people of melanin, you know, or people that look beautiful and black like me. No, I'm talking about all my brothers and sisters out there. White man, China, Indian, all the man them, all the woman them, all the race them, because those are my brothers and my sisters. And I'm saying, like, my brothers and sisters that live in places like New York City, like far cities, like China, London, these busy cities that are just kind of like they never sleep kind of thing. Take the time out for yourself. Find your quiet corner. It enables you to continue. Okay, you don't have to do what everybody else is doing. You don't have to go and get plastered every Friday and Saturday night. You don't have to waste 30 or 50% of your wages or your income going down the pub, right, or going down the bar every Friday and Saturday night and getting absolutely, what I can't even say what I want to say, but getting absolutely wasted. That does so much to your mentality, and then what it does to your body is 10 times worse than what you're doing to your mind. Because what happens is you have the hangover, and then you start feeling lethargic and you start feeling sluggish. Your body is trying to protect itself against so many poisons. Because the over excessive drink, hence why you're drunk, because you can drink. No one's not saying you can't go to the bar and have a drink. No one's not saying you can't drink your alcohol. There's nothing wrong in engaging in alcohol within moderation. You can have a 1-2 drink, you know what I mean? No one not saying you can't have a little drink or you can't catch a little vibes. But why you have to drink and keel over and then drink and want to fight and argue and mash up people's place? I don't get it. I really don't understand that culture, and I laugh because I was once part of it. That's why I'm laughing, because I was once part of it. I used to be in the middle of it because I was a workaholic in their system, and I tell you, they got a lot of hours out of me. And when Friday night came, I couldn't wait to get to the pub, mate. I couldn't wait to get to the bar and get on. I need my drink on. Gotta get my drink. You know what I mean? And that reality was crazy. I mean, I remember I used to, when I used to work in a place called Croydon, I mean, anybody that's from London, there's a place called Croydon, and you finish at 5:36, and if you're not doing a late one, you can get out and really have a good night. And we used to get out there from maybe like 7, by the time we get out there 7 o'clock, you got police out there taking people home because they've gone. So the guys that have left the office early from like 4:30, they've been licking it down. So that's 4:30, 5, 6, 7 goners. You know what I mean? And this was the culture. I remember when I used to like go out on a Friday night, I'd be waking up on trains on a Saturday in like Caterham on Hill. And it's like, what kind of life is this? Do you know what I mean? My car's still locked up in the parking lot. I can't get my car back till Monday. I've gone out with the lads and with the girls from the office. We've had a couple of drinks. And we've ended up on a train. I don't know where I am. I don't know what's going on. A shoe's missing, even though it's fun. And I can laugh at it now, and it does bring tears and joy to my heart if you think about these things now. But at the time, it's just like, hey, no, that's not whole life. But I give thanks for all those memories. I really do. And it's all part of who I am today. And I guess if I didn't live it, I wouldn't know that wasn't the life to live. You know what I mean? But the point of what I'm making is that it's the mentality. It's your environment affects your mentality. And when you're living in a place of tropical paradise, meaning that 80% of the land is green. And I don't know if that's a fact, by the way, but it just looks like it. Right, so don't quote me on that. But anywhere you go, you see trees. There's trees everywhere. There's trees and more trees and more trees, and just more vegetation and just more vegetation. An environment like that is very hard not to succeed, because the nature is prosperous in everything that it does. So if the nature is doing what it's supposed to do, then mankind has to follow. But if you're in an environment that the season doesn't exist, like England, I mean, there is no season there. You don't know when it's winter. You don't know when it's summertime, you don't know when it's autumn, because even the land is not in sync with the clock. Because I remember there was a time where the trees were very green and it was like November. I was like, hold on a minute, ain't it autumn, ain't it fall now, ain't the trees supposed to be turning brown? I mean, what happened to the clock? What happened to the cycle? What happened to the season? So if you've got an environment like that, then of course people are going to be out of sync, you know. So that's my revelation this week. My revelation this week is that your environment, yes, is very key to your thoughts, and what kind of energy you put into your thoughts, and what kind of thoughts you choose to put energy into as well, really. Excuse me. And also that know thyself is more than just what you say it is. Know thyself means do things that you don't know that you can do. Do things that you probably wouldn't even do. And I don't mean do things to, you know, bring down your integrity, or do things to, you know, question your character, or do things that are going to hurt you or hurt somebody else. I don't mean that. I just mean do things that make you say to yourself, well, who said I can't do that? Let me give it a try. And you just don't know. You don't know who you are until you really put yourself to the test. And that's what I'm learning. You know, as I said, I'm doing things now that I only dreamt of doing. And maybe I'm a hard dreamer, who knows? Yeah, but I tell you what, I try to keep my mind filled with what I want to live and how I want to live. And yes, it's not perfect, and I'm hoping one day that I get to perfection with how I use my mind and how I use my energy in trying not to worry when I really don't need to, because the universe always shows me that through faith and understanding and helping your fellow man when your fellow man needs to, and you're in a position to do so, these are the things that carry you through. You know, your grandmother, your great-grandmother's been telling you for a long time, do good and good come back to you. It's very simple stuff. You know what I mean? Simple thing. Treat people how you want to be treated. It's very simple stuff. So this stuff is never going to change. You know, that's why we just keep it simple. You know, and I just give thanks to, I think I've got to change colour now. I give thanks to, yeah, I'm building a bag. I'm going to change the colour now. Do some crocheting. Yes, and yeah, what was I saying then? Oh, excuse me. So that's what the revelations are today. Yeah, know thyself, and know that your environment is key to how you think and the energy you put into your thoughts. And okay, you know, so let me correct something there. What I said earlier, I just heard it back. Okay, it's not always financially affluent, actually. But the only reason why I say that is because half of the time, the human condition is to think about money, because money is the key thing that you need to do all the things that you want to do. So half of the time, that's what a human mind's thinking about is, how can I get the money? How can I get this doll? How can I get this thing to get this thing? Or, you know, you're always thinking about money. So that's why I say when persons are more financially affluent, then you don't, you know, your mind's totally freed up. But then saying that, if you want to try and get more accurate, is actually, you know, that isn't the fact. It's not just financial affluence. You have persons, and I know this through my own experience, is that you have persons that don't need to be financially affluent in order to be able to create their reality or to be able to have a peace of mind. Sometimes for some people, more money is more problems, as the great Christopher Williams, Notorious B.I.G. sang there with William Puff Daddy, currently known as P. Diddy. You know what I mean? And it's true. You know, when you got more money, there's definitely more problems, mate. I can testify to that. Most definitely. And I don't know, I guess it's all about you, you know. I can only speak from my own experiences. For you to come and tell me something different, but I can only speak from my own experience to know that when I don't have to worry, or not even worry, but when I don't have to overthink about certain areas in my life, concerning providing for myself, then yeah, I can free up my mind on other things. I can free up my mind and put energy into other things. But when I've got to pump energy into, you know, how we're going to provide for this, you know, we've got to get this, we've got to get that. This got to be paid, then this, you know, bills, whatever. You know, the thought pattern, energy goes into these things. We've got to manifest them, haven't you? If I don't have to manifest them, I won't be thinking about them. So again, it's just that cycle, isn't it? You know, and I'm working to one day not have to think about certain things. You know, that's what it's all about. It's about freeing up your mind. The whole journey is about getting a free mind at the end of the day. You know, are you at peace? Can you sleep good at night? You know, can you look at yourself in the mirror? Just these simple daily acts, you know, can you do them with ease? You know? And yeah, so rise up, the money bliss, and just up Logan. Think if I said your names right. Hey, thank you for tuning into Righteous Livity TV and all the viewers of the world. I is Empress Sefiato. Some people know me as Safrina. And yeah, I'm just here just revealing my revelations for the week, which are know thyself means be the rainbow that is inside you. You know, Uncle Bob sang a song saying I am a rainbow too. And what my interpretation, I mean, I don't know what his interpretation of that was, because I wasn't fortunate enough to meet him in the flesh, but in the spirit, what I feel that interpretation is that, you know, be everything you can be. You know, just because you might be a good IT man doesn't mean that that is who you are. Doesn't mean that that's your destiny. That's all you could ever be. You might can play bass guitar good, or a violin, or you might can be a good swimmer, or you might can play golf, or you might just can do something. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that you only have one thing that you can do. You know, you can be a chameleon, you can be the rainbow inside you. That is know thyself. Know thyself means do the things that you don't even know that you can do. Do the things that challenge you to learn something about yourself. Yeah? All right, I'm gonna give you an example now. I wasn't going to say anything. I was going to wait for the video to drop. But anyway, I was asked to do to be a lead actress in someone's video. Yeah, a video shoot. Yeah, he's a musician. He's an artist. Yeah. And anyway, I listened to the track, and the track is lovely. So I said, yeah, why not? I would love to represent that. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't anything, you know, tacky, you know, classy, and it's clean, and why not? You know what I mean? So anyway, going in the shoot now, and I have to say this is the first video shoot I've ever done, being the lead actress of the shoot anyway, yeah. And obviously we had to, you know, he's talking about his empress and he loves her, and you know, all the energy and, you know, the things that she does for him and blah 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 blah. So obviously I've got to act like I love this brother, you know what I mean? And there was a river scene and a picnic scene, and like the end scene was me, the brother, and we had a son. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell you, when was the river scene? You know, obviously I've got to, you know, I've got to get close to him. It wasn't anything sleazy. It was all very clean and professional. Yeah. But the point of what I'm trying to make is that obviously with acting, yeah, and I did go acting in school, but I didn't, you know, I was very, very young, and you know, we had to get close. I mean, obviously he's not my boyfriend, he's not my man, and obviously he's got to hug me and, you know, touch me in places that, you know, really and truly only my king man is supposed to be touching me, you know. And it was really uncomfortable. And there was a point where the crew kind of stopped and said, "Hey, what is going on? Because your face has changed." And I didn't see it. Obviously, I was just kind of, at first I was great, and then when we got to what it was like, And then obviously we had to, stroke his face and, hug him up, and, it's all part of the, the video shoot, the concept. And as I said, it was very clean, and he was very professional, and he wasn't sleazy at all. He didn't make me feel uncomfortable at all. So I just want to say that for the record. It was very, very good adventure. But the point I'm trying to make is that I learned something about myself. I learned that I'm more sensitive than I thought, and I learned that I'm very I don't know the words, but I did put it this way: I didn't want the man to touch me. Put it this way, I wasn't comfortable with him touching me at all, because for me, any man that's touching me like that, he won't touch me in any way, but you're just touching me in places that I don't know you. So why are you touching me like that? That's what my head was telling me, And obviously, with my thoughts telling me that, it was showing in my face. So come and I was like, "Hey, what happened? You know what I mean? Where you gone? You got this face like, what are you doing here?" So I was like, "Really?" So I tried to say, "Oh, it's nothing, and they were like, "No, what is it? What's going on?" I just had to say it. I said, "Listen, look, I'm not used to this. I'm not used to a man that I don't know, touching me." Even though he wasn't, as I said, he wasn't touching me in any untoward way at all. We were just hugging, and he was dancing to the music, and it was all very professional. And obviously, I just stroke him and give him a little, going up, like him lyrics and him something. You know what I mean? And it was very, very, very awkward. And after I kind of freed up myself to it and kind of just told him the truth of how I felt, and I was okay with it. But what I realized was that I really like my principles. And I realized that I'm more protective of my temple than I thought. And I realized that it's something that I would do again, but I don't think I could do that every day with different men. I don't think my temple will allow it, because that was challenging for me. To make a man that I don't know, first of all, I'm in my swimsuit, so you're lucky to even see that. That's the first thing, yeah. And then it's like, you're touching me, And it was, I just kind of freed up. So I said, I'm just going to post the pictures, because it's like, well, I'm in the video, I just got to free up, and I don't look too bad if I say myself. And, obviously I would love to look better, but, hey, it's all improvement, and we're working to look our best. Do you know what I mean? And the point of what I'm trying to say is that I did not know that I could, A, be an actress for a video shoot. That's the first thing for someone's their track. I didn't know I could do that. And B, I didn't know that I would feel so uncomfortable, because I've never done it before, have I? So I learned some stuff about myself, and I learned that I'm actually a lot more protective about my body than I thought I was. I thought I was a bit of a free spirit in that department, but I am not. No, I don't want men touching me at all, really, unless you're my king man. But with the acting thing, it's a thing. Obviously, if I was offered another job, or somebody wanted me to feature in their movie, I'm not going to turn it down. I'm going to put myself to that challenge again, because as long as it's clean, and it's classy, and I don't have to, and put my integrity at jeopardy or anything like that, then I'm good to go. No, let's do it. But I'm a type of person, I like to do different things. Yes, I'm not saying I wouldn't like to do that, because it's a nice way to earn money. I tell you that. Do you know what I mean? If you're just on set and changing outfits, and it's nice. I tell you, the only thing for me, I get a bit shy. When all the attention's on me. I don't like all the attention's on me all the time. Spread the attention. Obviously everyone likes a bit of attention, don't they? but I don't like when it's always on me. So after a while, it's like I want it to hurry and finish because the camera's been on me for a lot today. That was the vibe. I don't know if that's normal. I don't know because I don't really work in TV, so I don't know. But after a while, I wanted it to be over because for me, it was too much me, 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 me. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. So I don't know. Maybe I'll be a bit extra rather than a lead. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It was a wonderful experience, and again, I learned a lot about myself. A lot about myself. So again, I'm just sharing the vibe that walk into the unknown to really know thyself. Do things that you wouldn't really do. That's how you know thyself. You know, do things that challenge you as a human being. That is how you know thyself. You don't know thyself by doing the same thing every day. Because you already know how it goes. So all what's happening is that you just train your body to become mundane. Rather than rising up yourself. Right? And challenging yourself to see, hold on, I know I can do that. I might not know how, but show me how, I'm gonna do it. You know, that's the attitude. You know? So yeah, those are my revelations this week. With regards to know thyself and the thought process and the environment. And I'm building a bag. I'm getting there. I've changed the colour. Yeah, granny mode today. Granny out. Getting out. In my cardigan. And my knitting. You know, but yeah. It's interesting. And do you know something? It's really funny because it's like I never really thought that this live streaming stuff would do any good, or it would, you know, I just thought it was just like a kind of like, why are you always on the streaming? Do you know what I mean? But it's proven to be really effective and in a positive way. And if I can help my brothers and sisters, even if it's like one sentence that plants a seed, make someone think, hey, yeah, for real, you know, let me go and do that. Or yeah, it's right. I'm like, then I can't stop now. I won't stop. You know, I'm going to share my thoughts, and I'm going to share my revelations, and share my observations with my brothers and sisters in the world, and you know, contribute to the freeing up. You know, contribute to raising the higher heights. You know, contribute to that because that's what we're all here to do at the end of the day. So look, this is really nice. You know. That's what we're here to actually do. And I just want to rise up all my brothers and sisters out there that are holding it down, that are in those busy cities and got the jobs and the mortgages and the credit cards and the bills and the car insurance and the TV license and got all these things and they're still going through. Now, those are the soldiers. See? Business. Those are the soldiers, the ones that are in the grind, in the game, and they've got all these demands that really and truly shouldn't be on any man. That's the first thing. But that's a whole other broadcast. Yeah? And they're still going through and they're still getting it in and they're getting it done. Rise them up, man, because this system ain't easy. And with this new law that they've passed in Jamaica, this national identity law, is serious business. Yeah, this is the chip now. See? And remember, you know, if you don't take that chip, you're a criminal. And automatically, you're a criminal. Just like that. And this chip, this law that they've brought in, I'm not going to give you all the details because you need to go and research it yourself. Right? They passed this law last week. And we didn't really know anything about it. You know, where was the notice? See? Because me no remember hearing nothing about this law, the bill or nothing being drafted or anything like that. So this law basically means this, that there's going to be one database, see? And one device, national ID card, what do I call it? And this card is going to have everything on about you. Your mortgage, your thumbprint, your eye, something laser, your bank account, your tax code, your dates, everything. One card, everything. Scan, find out everything about you. See? When I was watching the announcement of it in the House of Representatives, the brother that was talking, yeah, I'm going to quote what he said. He said that the driving license is not ID. I'll say it again. He said that the driving license is not ID. Then he said that the passport could be considered ID. Now listen to these words that this man is saying. Now, I'm not dissing the brother because he's just doing his job. See? And if that's what they're saying, that's what they're saying. So I'm not diss the brother. I'm going to tell you say what the man saying already. Right. The man said that driving license is not identification. Yeah. And he said the passport could be considered identification. Now, I'm not disputing those statements to be a fact. I'm not disputing that because I can see easily how he could say that, and I can interpret as to what he probably meant by saying that. Meaning this, that the driving license could possibly not be ID because anybody can conduct a driver license and anybody can say that that is me. But how do I know that that is you? See? So I get that. Then the passport, the same thing, because the passport can be doctored and boom, there's no way for me to know that that passport is actually my passport. There's no real connection to it other than the fact that there's a picture there. Because it's the picture that's been the ID the whole time, right? I get that. However, what my concern is that I don't think the majority of the world or the majority of Jamaica is going to receive it that way. At the end of the day, you can't go tell people that the ID that you have been pressuring them and compelling them to obtain in order to, you know, just do simple transactions in commerce is not ID. You're going to create a riot. You telling people that the passport could be considered as ID is going to create a riot. I understand what you're saying. I get it. But you making that a national announcement when the people of Jamaica, the whole of Jamaica hear these statements, it's not going to be received well because all what's going to come down to it is that the politicians them are thieves and criminals. And I don't agree with that statement. Maybe some of them are. I don't all of them are. But these are the reasons why they say these things. Because are you going to say to people that I am the driving license is not ID? And the passport could be considered as ID. I mean, I don't know how you could say that and then not expect some kind of, you know, uproar. You know what I mean? And it's all been very hush hush as well. This bill. It's all been very, very hush hush. And I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of stories behind as to why, and you know, the guinea pig thing and all the rest of it. But the fact is this: the bill's been passed. And what that means is that in 2019, it's going to be implemented. That's when the pilot is going, see? And what that means is everybody, every Jamaican citizen, every single one of it, well, not me anyway, but every single Jamaican citizen is going to be required to sign up to the system. And if they do not sign up to the system, whether they want to or not, they are going to be criminals, they're going to be fined, and they're going to be imprisoned. Which I just think, I just don't get it. You know, we've had these systems existing for years. There was a time there was only birth certificate. But it even says it on the birth certificate that you can't use it as ID. But we've been doing it anyway, ain't we? You can't do nothing with that birth certificate now, but yes, it was not ID, so I don't know. You know, you want to tell the people the real truth, you know what I mean? What's this whole thing really about? But I'm not going to get into that. I'm just expressing my observation at the end of the day. And what I would say to my Jamaican brothers and sisters is a couple of things, actually. The first thing I would say to my Jamaican brothers and sisters is you need to read about this law and see how it's going to be affecting you and your children. Okay? The second thing is this, is if you as an individual, and I'm talking to myself now as well, is if us as Jamaicans, citizens, we're here, we're living in Jamaica, if we don't do something, and when I say something, I don't mean like no war or argument, I just mean we don't do something as into like, you know, deal with administrative procedure with regards to this bill, then it is going to be set in motion. Well, it's been set in motion already, right? It's been passed, and you know, been passed, and that's it. See, 2019, that's a year from now, and from what I'm hearing, they're gonna cut the TRN in January. So, what I'm saying is this: if 2019 they're going to be implemented in them something there, I know it's good. See? Because living in a society that we live in now, where every other minute a policeman's trying to ask your ID and where you're going and what you're doing, you know, it's bad enough living in a society like that. Then to go and live in a society now that if you ain't got no national ID, they want to come and talk, but they're gonna lock you up. That's crazy. So what happened to criminal liability? I mean, what happened to it? Do you know what I mean? Surely a crime must take place for one to be criminally liable. I mean, you just can't go around locking people up because they don't want to, you know, sign up to your regime, or because they don't want to sign up to whatever you feel is right for the country that you're leading and the people within it. So again, it brings one to question, what does politics really mean? Because if you've been voted to lead a people, and so you're listening to the people, but yes, so you're going to implement a law that's going to imprison your own people if they don't want to listen to what you're saying, then ain't that kind of like the Hitler thing? What they say, ain't it? Ain't that the same thing? I mean, I don't know. I'm just talking. Because for me, that doesn't make any sense. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for Mr. Andrew Holness. I think he's an excellent president. Yeah, I'm sorry, Prime Minister. I think he's demonstrated that it's time to do business. I think he's, you know, I think he's brought a fresh approach to politics in Jamaica. I mean, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. I'm not there. You know, I'm not part of the cabinet and the party. I don't know all that. I just report news and research and do my thing. But what I can say is, as a citizen, I like some of the choices that he has made. Maybe not all. I don't know all the choices. I don't know all the things that he's done. But since I've been here and he's been in power, and you know, things seem to be moving like the way the things that I move. Obviously, things can always be better. You know, so I'm not putting any blame on any particular person. I'm just saying that I don't understand this new one here. I don't get it. How are you going to put a law and pass a law that's going to be an automatic infringement on the human rights of your own constituency and your own people? I don't get that. But I guess in time we'll get to see how Jamaica responds, because it seems to be very quiet. Considering that this bill was passed last week, I don't see nothing going down. Or nothing going up, to be quite frank. But we'll see, you know. But all I'm saying is that if that's going down, then I know what's up. Simple. See? I'm in a chip business. I'm in that. You know, so if we got to live off the land, we just live off the land, family. Yeah, you know what I mean? And I'm quite happy to do that. I don't have any problem doing that. So I'm going to just get it in, you know, stack, you know, generate, create, do my thing. If it comes to that, we may have to just plug out in the regime. Me plug out to the system, me good, I'm good. You understand? I don't have to be a part of it. Get no chip, no scanning business, I don't know that. Do you know what I mean? For me, that's, you know, why is it necessary for you to have to take my thumbprint? You have to scan my eye. Why do we have to do all that? And yeah, I get it, like technology has advanced. I get it. I totally get it. And it is simplifying things and with all this paper and, you know, I get it. But what about free will? What about choice? What about the man that don't want to be part of it? Surely his little choice can be respected. If a man just want to do his own thing, he's not causing our crime. You know, he's not bringing down your system or your regime. He just doesn't want to be a part of it. He just wants to continue his life the way he wants to continue his life. Why can't people have that liberty? You know, that's my only question. You know, I don't really have no it's about for them system, you know, and we don't want to implement and all them something because, you know, they're going to do what they got to do and people are voting for them. So they got rights to do what they got to do at the end of the day. You know, so I'm not against whatever they're doing. I'm just saying it's an observation, and I just want to reiterate that I don't understand it, and I can't understand it. You understand? I don't get it. They say that the PMP was against it, and the JLP are for it. But I'm sure if it was the other way around in Parliament, they would have said the same thing about the other one. So, you know, I mean, I really can't follow for them story. All I know is that that is going to be detrimental for the people of Jamaica. Simple as that. You know, and some people just adapt to it and just say, yeah, mama, I'm going to do it, mama, because everything is everything, and you know, I go fight the system, and you know. I don't want to say to fight the system because I'm not into fighting nobody, to be quite frank. I don't need you to fight nobody. Definitely ain't got energy to fight no system. I'll tell you that much. They can't go along and do with them because you see, karma and judgment is a must. So the time they're fighting system, yeah, I'm putting my energy into my people. See, and in that is fighting the system, you understand? So I've been rapping for a minute. I'm gonna wrap up now. Rise up, all everybody tune in, listening to me and my revelations. I'm knitting a bag and we're getting somewhere. You see how quick it is when you crochet? When you knit with 2 needles, it takes forever. And even though you do kind of get a more tighter, you know, lock-in with your, it depends on the needle really. But look, I started this when we first started. And I would have got more done, but you know, I've been stopping and starting. But yeah, so that's my revelations for the week. What I want to say also is just I want to rise up all my brothers and sisters out there that are just being the best they can be. You know, being the best they can be in everything they do. And yes, you know, none of us are perfect. Well, I think we are all perfect in our own right. And I think when we say we're not perfect, I think what we're trying to say is that we are not the ultimate highest being that we know we can be. But we are all perfect in our own right. And I try to love myself more every day, even my flaws. And it makes life easier. It gives you strength it gives you that magic cape. The Superman cape, you know, it gives you the magic powers to go forth and deal with anything that may come at you throughout the day or throughout the week. So it's always good. I mean, my advice to my brothers and sisters would be is find something that feeds you, that makes you feel good, whether it's reading or listening to like positive music, whether it's gospel or it's a bit of jazz, or you like some Afro beats, or you know, just want to hear something positive. Yeah, not talking about guns and robbing and all of that stuff, because that stuff just manifests that into your world. I'm not saying a couple of them tune that ain't good. You know, I'm not dissing their tune because they got a couple of tune that tune them good. They got good rhythm, man. You know, drop it on the beat correct. But you know, for manifestations, you don't really want that kind of music in your, you know, in your temple. You know what I mean? So try and like find something that's good for you. People that are working in cities and in the rut of the 9 to 5, and you're kind of committed to your career or whatever, and you're in the office, you know, the first one in the office and the last one at the office. Find something that works for you. Even if you take out 10 minutes out of the day in the morning and just do some positive affirmations, and just kind of just breathe and just don't do anything for 10 minutes. Just find something for you. That's the first thing I would say. Another thing I'd like to say to all my brothers and sisters out there is that I saw a post. I can't, for the life of me, I don't remember the sister's name. She's an American actress. I think she's an American comedian, and she's an actress as well. And I think she hosted some award, something recently. And I saw a post today, and this is something I've been saying for a while now. And she was saying that, well, she was acknowledging that a lot of young people out there are rushing to live life now when they don't know themselves. They're rushing to be successful and they don't know themselves to be successful. Most of the people that you see in success, or what we call the Oprahs and the Donald Trumps and the was it Sugar? What's his name? Mr. Sugar. Yeah, these billionaires that came from nowhere, basically. Yeah. These people achieved, or what we would interpret as they made it, very late, or what we would call late. Like, we're talking 50s. Some people even in their 60s didn't really happen for them. And